right, Devils, how we doing? Happy Friday. All right, so I've got a lineup here. Oh, we're going to look at, of course, Bitcoin. I think the majors here will look. I think we'll stay with the S's, Solana and SUI, and then maybe we'll take a quick spin through some trads here and see how we're looking setting up going into next week. Okay, let's get to Bitcoin right off the bat here. Now you'll notice here I'm over on Femex. Little hint: we're working on a new opportunity with them. It's an exchange we've known. We've worked with them in the past. You might look for some new things coming from them in the very near term. No disrespect to Blowfin. We're still going to work with Blowfin. We're just kind of adding in a few other options. Okay, so now to Bitcoin here. This is just to the tether on a daily. So what do we see here? Right? It's really, these are some high class problems, right? So the first question you have to ask yourself is: have we completed the impulse here? Which is hard to argue with it. We've completed the impulse, and we're in the process of retracing into the two, right? So the premise would be completed impulse. We're again, the market's not obligated to do anything, but very commonly you would see at least a 50% retracement of the full impulse. Right now, this is out of log scale, so this is open to discussion, and I have subs and members and senseis here, all with mixed emotions on this, or mixed feelings or opinions, and we say it that way. Okay, well, if it's a completed one, it's not like a two has never. The market's not obligated to go 50. We've gone 38 to the tick. And of course, I just highlighted them here. Bitcoin has such a great tendency for prior resistance to become support. You see it here, see it here, see it here. So you get to make your own choice here. And neither one's a bad one. Although the bearish count, which we'll look at next, if indeed we're finished here, well, okay, length of time would be the first consideration. Oh, this entire impulse here from 22 to 25, with just 3-year impulse we're done that fast? Well, that might make you think, okay, well, of course, we've got to consider if it's completed and this is a 1 and we're looking for the 2, well, this would be a target. You might consider there's your 50% from the 15K low. Put it at, let's call it 62. We pinged right here at 73, 74, right? Prior resistance. I mean, again, if you think that's random, think again. Okay, right. So what are a few choices here? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I like that less. So it's myself, right? It's hard to argue with the completed impulse here. Now, when you put it in log scale, right, you're going to change your mind, right? This is the conundrum, right, that we all have to wrestle with, log or linear. But let's put it in log. Now, what do you think? All right, looks more reasonable. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, we're not done here, right? So we've been wrestling with this, well, since we started the retrace, right? Is it 1, 2? I have long leaned into the 1, 2, the idea that the top was not in yet here at 108. Although, if you have a long-term horizon, if we were going to retrace deeper, it's ultimately more bullish, at least over the, well, shit, we're talking the next couple of years. It would be more bullish, my opinion, right? If we're going to come down deeper and 1, 2, and then go into the 3, just doing the math on the projections here, of course, you've got a higher target. I know, but that whether it's 1, 2, right? It's all a little on the bull porny side, right? So okay, right? That's nothing wrong with it. Okay, right? If we're here, it's at least a nice tight completed impulse, right? All the ingredients are there except for the length of time and the depth, which makes you second guess it for a second and go, oh, well, of course, right? Of course we're going higher. Of course we're going higher. Now you get a few other variables in here. Again, there's some interpretation that's available to you here. If we go off of this pivot here, and I take this out of log scale, bring this down here. Well, now this is a secondary pivot. God, I've got one one subscriber who never misses a chance to, he wants to comment, right, to make sure that nobody's being misled here. This is a secondary pivot, right? Now, this is a very tricky finish for an Elliottician, no matter how you slice it, right? Is it 1, 2? Is this a triangle of some sort? This is all wick down here. If you zoom in here, it's very tricky to call this, right? For example, put it in log scale, right? It's a true double. Oh, pardon me. Put it in a line, in just line closes. Actually, I think this is a tick lower. Candles, right? Well, of course, that's all wick, right? So the lowest closing candle, it's a really tough call. If you go one, let's see if I may draw it here. If I go 1, 2, it doesn't quite finish as well. Well, again, there's some subjectivity in there. This is likely not coincidental. Again, we're not sitting with the people that write the code and talking about them. Oh, did you use a secondary pivot? Right. All we can work with is what we see in the market, right? And the tendencies here. If I go to you would certainly want to defer to the lower pivot. Of course, you would. Right now, again, the market's not obligated to hit the golden zone. It's certainly reasonable that the prior resistance here became the support, and we didn't make the golden zone, right? That structure here popped it higher, and we're going to miss the golden zone. It's kind of interesting. What is it? Does it matter? Right? Does it matter? Well, if you're thinking 1, 2, again, out of log, if you're thinking 1, 2, well, that's a pretty ripe spot for a 2. I mean, it's perfect as it gets. Again, whether it's here or here, it doesn't really matter, right? If that's 1, 2, well, where's 3? Right, that would be this. That's where I get a little bit. That's really okay. 1, 2, and 3 is going to be up here, and 4 and 5 is going to be up here. Okay, I know we're talking about Bitcoin. So, but boy, the bull porn gets pretty obscene, right? So, okay, now let's bring it back here. Could it be the shallow? Right, when I started right here, right? Could it be just a shallow 2? Again, market's not obligated to come to a 50. It's just what do they usually do? And then again, right, we come in. So this is what's got to be spinning through your head as a technician. Oh God, this is not enough time. What that amount of time would be? I hate to keep doing this. Would be more consistent with the 1, 2. Oh well, that's a very reasonable length of time. If this is the 1, that's the 2. Very reasonable. Oh, 1, 2. How do we know? Well, we don't know, right? So, and there is no knowing, right? Don't let anyone tell you they know, right? There is no knowing. There's forecasting. There's a belief as to what's to come, but there's no knowing. Nobody knows anything, right? Market is going to do what it's going to do. So what can we do? Because since we can't know, is we look for those opportunities where we have the slightest of edge, because that's all you're ever going to get. Whether it's actually there or you just believe it's there, that's open to discussion. But we can use some math and statistics to create a higher perception of at least of our conviction that we've got an edge. Okay, so since we can't know, what we can do is work off of precedent. That's what you're doing with Elliott Wave. We've got 96 years of precedent. Does the market move in 5s and 3s? Not always. Nothing is always. Sure is a strong tendency. Okay, so let's get down into it. Let's look at the bull and the bear count. Well, if you're a bull and you're looking for that pivot to hold and the low is in, and we've done, whether it's a shallow 2 or it's 1, 2, and we're going higher, well, we got to have a low here that's valid. Oh, let's see. Let's go to a 3-hour here. See if we can sort this out. Okay, is it pretty? Definitely not. This is fully the work here. As I was struggling with this, I did what I always encourage you guys to do. I go to I've got 3 master tech. Oh, I think 4 now. Master technician, master Elliott Wave analysts, technicians, level 3 master Elliott Wave technicians. They're all better Elliott Wave traders than I am. Right? They're better Elliotticians. I've just been trading longer. ABCW. ABCX, A, B, C, D, E, B. Right, so it's hard to, let's see if I can draw it here. So A, B, C into a W. Now we go X here. Now we go A, B, C, D, D, E into a B. Oh God, this is gonna be easy. Let's do it this way. WX. Let me draw this one. I think this will be easier. A, B, C into the low. So A, B, C into the X. So WX, A, B, C into the Y. Okay, that gets us a valid technical low. It's some of the ugliest Elliott you'll ever see, but it's pretty clever way to solve it, right? That's what we're trying to do. So can we solve the puzzle with the rules and guidelines, right, from EWI, right, or from Elliott or Elliott Wave International, as they kind of are the arbiter of what's the current rule set is. Okay, can we solve it with those rules? We did. Done. All right, Sensei PK, right, nailed that. It's very tricky, right? Very tricky, right? That's not for your average Elliottician, right? And of course, we're going to look at some other assets here where, okay, right? I mean, could that be any more complex? No. I mean, that's about as complex as they get. Now, we have unusual circumstance, obviously. So, okay, well, if the low is in, could the low be in? Yes, certainly it could be in. Well, are we coming out of here with an impulse? Well, yeah, it looks like we are. Let's go to a 1 here. A little bumpy on the start. And there, you'd probably need to check a couple of exchanges here. I'm on Femex over here. I've checked on Bybit and Femex and Coinbase and a few, right? We do not get a new low here. So you're going to put the C here, the Y here, and I think the way that this plays most cleanly, since this is all wick here, I think you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the one here, right? This being just a pump wick. It cleans up a little bit here in line chart, a touch. I think, and then I get an ABC into the 2 here. Now it's very skinny. I just think it plays a little bit better here. If you know, depending on your exchange, I think you're likely see that we do not get a new low here. 1, 2, 3. It's deep for a 4. It doesn't overlap the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get an impulse here in the 1, 2, 3. Here's my impulse. It's not the prettiest I've ever seen, but what leans me into that is what comes next, right? We get this clearly a triangle. Okay, well, if it's a triangle, well, it's not going to be the 2. So what does that leave us? It leaves us the 4. So that E in here into that 4 makes sense to me, right? As I look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, now I've got just a beautiful impulse here. So very bumpy start, right? Understandably, right? Given risk on, risk off, risk on, risk off. You know, just pick your day. 4 in. Looks like we're going for that 5. Now, what's up here? What would you imagine? Right, without me even pulling it, what do you think is right there? Well, let's go back to that 4 hour. I'm assuming, right, most of you already know this answer, right? Anyone who's a member, I'm trusting you already know the answer to that. Right, golden zone. Right, so I've got this imbalance up here when we started the move down that left that untapped, unmitigated fair value gap right there, that imbalance. We're coming up just on the other side. You'll note here I have an alert right on it, right here. Because I want to know if we're going to get on the other side of that and close above, right? We're killing the algo from the top, right? So there's no more big dog algo to fight, right? That's the last battle to be fought right there. And that certainly would have us start to lean in a bit more into the bull count that the low is in. And that would be consistent with we're going to look at the S&P 500, and maybe if I have time here, if I don't run too long. On the NASDAQ as well, the assumption that the low is in. Now, it's a bit ugly on both of them. But we'll take a look at it here. So if indeed the low is in Bitcoin and the low is in on the NASDAQ, which is what it's most correlated to, then this as a low and going into a 1-2 heading for the new highs plays pretty well. Right? Again, you're back to, right, we're not going to know until we blow through that high whether this is going to be a shallow 2 or it's a shallow 2 of a completed impulse or the 2 of an extension in the 5th. We're not going to know until we get well beyond it. Right? It doesn't matter. You don't need to know. I mean, as I said earlier, right? It's a very high class problem. It's a question of what are we projecting for the target of the 3rd. Again, such a high class problem, assuming you're a bull. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, going up for the 5 here. Looks like that could be. Oh, do I have any? Oh, I thought I did have something. Let's get an EW on there with a squeeze on it. Oops, I like this one. Oops, I did it twice. liked it so much I did it twice. Okay, right. So how does the Elliott Wave Oscillator play? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the perfect 4, right? Like I cannot script a better 4. It's a squeeze. The moving averages come to the 0 line, and then we kick for the 5th, right? Now, interestingly, the 5th, right, is the extension here. We're getting the moving averages are further apart here in the 5th. So it's not like we don't see this. I don't think we want to reorient the count here to make this the 3rd. Again, it's a high-class problem if that's what we have to do, because it looks to me more like we're heading towards the resistance here, and we may be, right, again, there's no knowing, we may be heading towards a retrace, which would give you the next opportunity to be a buyer. Right now, I know this seems, I hesitate to even say this, but market's going up here. We're going right into resistance here. I think we could probably all agree that would be a high risk location to be a buyer, to be buying into that. You couldn't pay me to do that, but I don't want to. I don't want. For all I know, again, as I said, there's no knowing. For all I know, we're at 120 on Monday. There's no knowing. I just, if we're going to use precedent and our ability to read the market and know where the market is prone to reacting, I would call that a very high risk location to be entering the market. What now? If it breaks, right, that's not necessarily bad news, right? As I said, we're killing the algo. If it breaks beyond here and we get another rip here, maybe we're back here recounting this, although I don't see how we do that. If it rips here, we want the retrace, right, to come back here and test the breakout. We want that retest. So, oh God, I can't. I don't see how we're going to turn this into the 3. It doesn't seem. Well, shit, right? Stranger things have happened. Let's see, right? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, right? But right now, we're coming into some pretty stiff resistance here. I would be very cautious, even if you just break it into discount premium, right? You're buying, right? You're paying the maximum price you could pay. I would consider that the worst location on the board to enter Bitcoin long, the worst. That does not mean it's not going to get through. You're literally. I would advise against it, right? Just me, if you're asking my opinion, I wouldn't say I don't think it's going higher. I would say that would be a terrible place to enter. Okay, but that said, oh shit, I'm 17 minutes in. Okay, right. So if that's the case, and we're in here, this is a 1. We're looking for a retrace into the 2, and we're going to the 3. So that's the bull count. Now, before we get all fired up about it, let's reevaluate here, because this is they're both really pretty gnarly in terms of how you're going to get them done and the puzzle solve that's involved here. But this, I believe, is a cleaner count. And this would suggest that we are putting in the X wave here, and we have one more leg down. Technically, that's a better count. But in terms of the broader macro conditions with increase in liquidity, all of the things we know that came with this administration, the new SEC chair, the regulation being clarified, you can just knock off the list, right? All very crypto friendly, certainly Bitcoin friendly, the Bitcoin reserve, the yada yada, right? It's a lot of very bullish behind the scenes, right? Fundamentally, right, the picture is getting much better for Bitcoin and risk assets in general, although it takes one press conference, truth post, again, very volatile environment here, and as a result of that, you want to pick your spots here carefully. This one, A, B, C into a W. A, B, C into an X. A, B, C into a Y would be the count you'd be forecasting here, looking for that, right, with a low down here in the mid-60s. If this is going to play this way, how are we going to know? Well, there's no knowing. I think we can all, there's a reasonable argument here that this is an impulse, right? Is it going to, how are we going to know? We're not going to know. There's no knowing. So if let's say we do that, well, retail premium. You want to be a buyer at full retail? Well, it's Bitcoin, man. It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. It's your choice, right? It's a bad habit to develop. Paying full retail. You can't wait for that. What if it doesn't come back that low? What if it doesn't? At some point, there's likely to be a retrace, right? We don't move in straight lines, right? It's just not how the market works. We can get very bullish. We can get very confused. Impulse correction. Impulse. Well, this will be, first we have to get a top here, right? Looks like we're approaching that, right? We POCs up here. We've got a lot of ingredients to suggest that we're getting a bit top heavy, right? Again, we don't know until we know. Could you consider waiting for this? Somewhere in this range, high volume node here. Buying in the 80s. Well, now you're back on the bull count. It's a 1, it's a 2, and we're going for the 3, right? And that's going to be well past new highs. It's no easy answer there. How are we going to know, right? First thing, we've got to get a top here and then start the retrace. Do we get a lower high, right? The first thing, these are just market structure ingredients, whether it's you're thinking market structure or you're thinking Elliott Wave. Is that an A and a B? Well, what if I get an expanded B? Oh, that fucks up your, well, that makes the market structure a little more challenging, right? What would it be? Would it be a change of character? Yes. Wouldn't be a break of structure. Oh, wait. Oh, it's a B wave, right? And they get 5 down, right? This is what makes it, right? No one said this was going to be easy. That's what makes it hard. What would be easier? A lower high and a lower low. Now, okay, what do I get next? All right, that's where you're going to know. That's why I would propose to you, if you're a bull and you're thinking 1, 2, don't try and pick the turn. Wait till you get a little reaction, because of course one possibility is that rolls over, right? And now you're doing this. Right? We're down for a Y. But if I get this out of here, when you're right here, if you're thinking 1, 2, it's ABC, and then do I get a little micro 5 here down on a 30-minute, even a 1 hour? Can I get a 5 out of this? If I do, then where's the trade, right? First little retrace, right? Because I can control the risk here. I can lever that. Hard stop, right? Maybe under the 50% of that range. 3, 4. Do I get that? We don't know, right? We're not going to know. So all we get is the context of what's come before. There's an impulse. I got a 3, right? Am I getting this? Or am I getting this? And I roll over and head down to the C, right? That's just the reality. Where there's not going to be a location where it's going to be without risk, right? Without some uncertainty, right? It's the trade that you're most uncomfortable with, usually the best trade, right? Because you're likely you're in some sort of a counter trend location where the market's going down, right? If you're a retracement trader, you're waiting. You're only entering when the market's retracing. It's coming down, right? Assuming you're bullish, right? It makes it a little harder. What if it rolls over? Well, what if it does? You get stopped out. That's what happens. Not, I moved my stop. I moved my stop. Oh. What? Now, where's my risk? What if it does this? Where's my risk? See, it's the mismanagement of risk, right, that kills traders, right? It's not this, right? They're solving the puzzle, right? As I say this, I've been saying this for 5 years. This is the fun part. I'm assuming you like solving puzzles, right? Some people go, oh, fuck, I would never spend more than a millisecond I'd never do that. Many, right? And many trade successfully without doing any of that, right? More power to them. All right, if you're drawn to this, well, first question is, can you solve the puzzle? And then if you can, well, then, okay, well, you solved, now you're only halfway home, right? Now, can you manage it? Can you enter at the right locations with the right risk control, right? That's where most traders fail. That's why 95% of people lose money. It's not this. It's the money management. And ultimately, that comes down to refusing to accept that you're wrong. Right? Over and over and over again. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. I know it's coming back. I'm going to give that more room. I'm going to move that stop down. As soon as you do that, right, the ingredients for disaster have been created. And we've all done it. If you had just taken the first stop and reevaluated, right, but you didn't want to be wrong, right? Your ego does you in, right? Most traders, that's the problem. Not a lack of knowledge, not a lack of solving a puzzle, not a decent, basic technical approach. It's that they can't accept being wrong, right? Over and over and over again. You've got to be at peace with that. Thank your stop. Don't be pissed at it. Be glad it was there. Okay, let me stop. Jesus Christ, I've done 20. Whoops, sorry, 24 minutes on Bitcoin. Okay, maybe I'll shorten this one down. We'll just let's go over to. Hang on a second. Let me bring up Solana and SUI. Okay, this is the big dog at the moment, right in the alt space. SUI. How's the channeling going here? Right, I'm on daily. I'm over on Coinbase now. Channel. Why I continually to harp on, okay, if you're creating an Elliott Wave structure, right, let's get the channeling on it. Right, it's so critical to a good Elliott Wave. Well, we can look at this. 1, 2, 1. Oh, it's not going to be 3. It's not going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 1, 2, 1, 2. Right now I'm in log scale. Take it out of log. 1, 2. There's constant conundrum, right, with log linear. There's no easy answer. You gotta look at both. Does that look like does it look like 1, 2, 3, 4? No. Does it look like 1, 2, 1, 2? Well, yeah, it does. I know this distorts it to your eye, right? You compress everything. Oh, all right, 1, 2. Well, let's be mindful of that. Let's just let's look at it in log, right? Right. Can that be any more perfect look? Oh, here I should get some of this out of here so you can see it better. Let's get all of this, right? Completed impulse. Let's get that out of there. Okay, right. So this, let's see. This volume profile here is the way up, right? This volume profile is from the high down, right? So I can get the way up and the way down on the right. So as we come back to the center here, well, what do we see? Well, here's the 3, 4 down a degree, right to the middle of it. Pops that. Here's high volume, right? It would make sense. High volume as we pushed up. Coming back here, no, I'm a POC. Look at the POC for both, the way up and the way down. They're on top of each other. Unusual, right? Agreement here that this is fair value. Now we're starting to push out of here. Okay, 1, 2. Right, again, out of log. 1, 2. Oh, where's 3? $10? Where are we at now? $3. That's a home run out of the park. Right? If. Do we know we're going to get that, right? As I say all the time, there is no knowing. Okay, well, we got precedent here. I got a completed impulse. Can I be done here? Oh, it's a little tricky to get that done. We've got all the ingredients here. Now, look at this rip we're getting here. Let's go to a 2-hour here. Oh, let's see. Did I draw that? Yeah, I did. Okay, right. So here's the... Oh, I thought I had this count. I think I did somewhere else. Right? It doesn't matter. Okay, so here's our proposed low. Okay, do I come out of the chute? Do I get a 5, right? Because we're all waiting. Oh, shit, is that the low? I don't know, right? The guy always tells me wait for a 5 and a 3. Okay, there's your 5. If we come off the low, all the ingredients, right? Everything you'd look for, right? We swept the lows, right? Big liquidity grab. Swept the lows. Oh, here, we can't get a new high. We can't get a new high. So we're, at that moment in time, you're stuck, right? You've got a high and a low, and you're stuck in the zone. You're stuck in the middle. So what can we use here? When, oh, shit, man, I don't want to buy it here in premium. I want to buy it in discount. Well, did we get discount here? And did I get a 5 followed by a 3? Well, it's this mighty skinny little 3. Let's go to a 1 here. It's mighty skinny. A, B, C. Valid, right? It's not a force fit. A, B, C into that 2. So this, yeah, you're probably okay here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, and then we get the rip. Okay, well, did I buy in the discount? If I draw it, here's discount. Oh, I got the 5. Oh, look. Oh, I don't want to buy it now. I'm in the premium. Oh, retrace. Oh, look at that retrace. Oh, a little wobble here. Did you get scared here? Would you be scared out of that? There's no reason to. Where's your stop? You know, you're using a pivot, one of these 2 pivots, depending on the size you put on. But at least now you're buying with conviction here. Oh, I got a 5. I got a skinny little 3, but I'm in the discount. Well, could I nibble here? Could I nibble a little bit? Could I nibble a little bit? Well, you didn't get much of a pullback in terms of an opportunity to add on the way. But let's call this 1, 2. There's clearly your 4, right? 4 is always the easiest thing to spot. We stop progressing the trend. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we're still working on that 3. Well, let's take a look here. Let me get this out of here. All right, a lot of things that when Elliott is kicking, again, there's just nothing better, right? There's no there was, I'd teach it to you. Okay, right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's a little bumpy, it's a little diag, but we get 5 swings, sharp 3. So 1, 2, oh, is it technical? All right, the pocket here, between the 50 and the golden zone. Get that right on there. Looks like you had an order block right here. Looks like we tapped that just a bit. 1, 2, 1. It wasn't a great start until you got this push. So for what happens here, right? We get a change of character, right? It's not a break of structure, right? That's a change of character right there. So we get a change. Where are you? Change up, right? Because this pivot does not create a new low, so it's not a break of structure. This is a break of structure right here, because that's a low that did something. Right, that's a pivot high that created a new low here, right? So this is the break of structure. So now we're in full rip mode, right? Well, obviously. Now, where have we gone? So if I pull this out of here, we know we're in a bull market here, having with that break of structure here. Well, let's measure, right? When in doubt, measure, right? It's so easy. It takes just seconds to do. Well, let's see now. Where is the highest probability location for a wave 3 and a good Elliott impulse? Between the 151 and the 175. Oh, excuse me, the 1618 and 175. I can't make that up. I could have told you that 10 years ago. Where's wave 3 usually go? You don't think there might be some resistance here? Well, it looks like we're already through golden, right? It looks to me like, just to my eyeball, that we are, right? So you now with SUI, you've broken the back of the big algo, right? That's close above. So this algo off the board, right? There's no resistance fighting you there from the high. Now, slow down, right? It doesn't take long before he'll be back, right? All it takes is that. He's back, right? He's always there, never leaves, never gets turned off, right? So you just have to swing by swing, right? He'll be right there waiting for you. So, right, got to get through, right? Or what's the potential, right? We do an A, B, C, right? He gets his target here, and then we go. Not that he wouldn't be there again. Right, he's always there, right? This is the annoying part of it. He can be there again, right there. Right, that's why you have to know where he is at all. For lack of a better way to do it, I personalize it and make it, give it a gender. We can right. Where is it going to be? Right, I call him Al. ALGO. Where's he going to be? He's going to be right there, and he's going to be there twice now. You're going to have him here from the second pivot, and you're going to have him here from the third pivot. From the higher pivot. Annoying, but these are micros, right? You killed the big one, right? Then when we're out on that's from the all-time high. When you break the big one, right? That's where these little ones here may be problematic on your entries and getting, but eventually these are much more prone to be breaking than the big one from the top, right? So bull's ball is what I'm saying. Right, but don't forget they'll be there on every swing, right? It's always there. They never get turned off. So don't forget that. Okay, do we have good channeling here? Yeah, we do. Right, the channeling is all right. Is any Elliott Wave technician? Oh, look here. Oh, 1, 2. Well, that's where I start. No, I've already broken it. So now we have to redraw it. Let's get you out of here. So let's get it on the 1 and the 3, and then bring it down to the 2. Kind of ride that up. So take this one. So some people will choose to leave it on, right? Because that intersection here can be a place to look for it. But just for this, clear up the chart here. For us, what are we focused on? If indeed that's the 2, and if indeed that's going to hold. Whoops, if that's going to hold is the 3. All right, we're going to look for this right here, and you can see, right, this make perfect sense. There's a nice high volume node sitting right there where we had the wave 4, which would tie to that. So if we come back to this 4, hey, game on, right? Don't let that one slip by. Particularly if we can get there in a 3, can we get a little 3 to get it done? right? Length of time, right? This was pretty sharp. I mean, you might get a triangle here. You don't know what you're going to get. Might go sideways a little bit. Since we had sharp here, we could have a flat. We could have something that consolidates here. Wouldn't be surprising at all. But I'd certainly have SUI on your watch list, right? Be watching that closely daily. Right, looking for that opportunity. Or, just what I do. I just set an alert. I was trying to set an alert. I just set an alert there. Okay, if it fires, great. Yeah, heads up. 4, looking for the 5. Right now, don't be a pig. Right, don't assume. Right, we're going to to the moon. If you got that, well, you'd be pretty sweet. What do you anticipate next? Right, retrace. So just if we get back to the highs. Anticipate them. There's going to be some resistance up there, right? That would not be shocking, right? We're going to bump into some resistance up here, look for a retrace, and then again, it's more bullish. If we're down here and this is going to complete the impulse and we're retracing, we're looking for another 618 up here, 1618. So very bullish there. Okay, that's SUI. That's got to be on every crypto trader's hit list. Okay, let's look at Solana. Also, right, a lot of news with them, with ETFs and BlackRock's getting involved here. We got all sorts of potential for Solana to finally realize its potential. Let's get back out to the higher time frame. Right, for the longest time, both up and down, it was just perfect. Just kind of Elliott that you can't dispute. You just can't. It finishes in a 5, goes up. You get this beautiful 1, 2, beautiful internal impulse. I mean, I use that as an example in our brown belt course. It's just unbelievable, right? And the combination with market structures almost looks like it was, done in Photoshop. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we do? Right to the 38. Right to this. Again, it's just when it's clicking, it's almost like an unfair advantage. Oh, here I got high consolidation here, right? I got consolidation here. This is the way up, just like I did before. Oh, let's do it. This one here is the way up. This one down here, that's on the right. That's how I typically will do them. And I'm just using different tools. It's kind of nice that TradingView gives you those tools. I can draw one, or I can just pick a pivot, right? And that goes off to the right. So you can get the way up and the way down. Okay, well, POCs from both. Well, pardon me. POC for the major just down here, understandably, as we on the way up, as we stall, and then ripped. So this is very thin. So coming down, you can understand, right? It distorts a little bit, but you can understand why this here was the potential support. Not to mention, again, right? Just precedent, highest probability location historically for a wave 4 between the 23 and the 38. Where do we go? Kaboom. Coming off the low. What do we got? I think this is kind of very similar to Bitcoin, not surprisingly. 1, 2, although the 2 is not as, there's not a question mark next to it because it's not as deep. So the 1, 2 here looks pretty solid. 1, 2, let me get in there. Right, this, again, shit that doesn't happen randomly, right? That does not overlap. It's tick perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, big rip for a 5. Looks like looks like A, B, C into the 4. Looks like we got a little extension going here, right? From the 4, oh, we got more legs, right? Very reasonable to assume that the top was in here for the 5. Whoa. Well, that's not going to be the 2 of that impulse, right? So what does that leave, right? If not this, then that. If not that, then this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got another kick for the 5. Where's the 5 in? I assume there's another leg on it, right? Well, you're kind of extended here, right? Again, discounted premium, right? Careful now buying again, right? That's quite a run there, right? You're trading for you're hoping it's 1, 2, 3. I think you're late to that party. I wouldn't chase that myself. No, I'd be on a shitload of it. But I shouldn't say that, right? It doesn't matter what I have. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see. Can we get another run up here? What are we really looking for at this point in time? You're just waiting for this thing to find a pivot. Where might we find some resistance? Right, you'll notice here there's a consistency of approach, which is our edge. Okay, that's why every video is just like every other video, right? It's that consistency, it's the discipline of approach. Right? That's what gives us the edge. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, extension in the fifth, right? Could we get up this high? You hear here, all I did was clone it, right? Because we've got this nice push here, and then we're pushing outside of it here. So, for example, if I push this off, it doesn't, wait, I want to include that. So if I just clone it and double it here, now I've got this extra runner here giving me targets up here for the fifth. What am I ultimately waiting for? I'm waiting for this to finish and then start this. That's where I want to be a buyer, right? Now you can say, well, shit, man, I want it now. I want it now. Okay, you got rules? You got anything that guides you? Maybe you're not an Elliott Wave guy. Maybe you're just using market structure, right? Do we have a break of structure? We have a change of character. Oh, let's see. I guess we could call this break of structure. There's your break of structure up. Right, because that's a pivot that gave us this break here. That was your break of structure down, right? That gave you the break down, right? So swing, retrace, swing, retrace, right? That's a significant pivot. Well, it was pretty close, right? Your change of character would have been right here. Right? You had your chalk, right? Remember, it's chalk first, and then the break. Right, first you have to change the character, then you have to break the structure. Right, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, right, so there's a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, going up for that 5. Right, we know the golden zone's up here waiting. I'm in log. This one, it does look like you got to do it mostly in log. It's got a little kinky at the bottom. Clearly a triangle here, so you're kind of forced into it. It looks like you got a series of triangles. A, B, C. A, B. This looks like you got to go A, B, C, because that's clearly a 3 here. There's clearly a 3 here. A, B, C into a 2. A, B, C, A, B, C, A. Oh, fuck. A, B, C. Let's clear that up so you can see it a little bit better. It's a bumpy finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what gets you done. With a diag, with a series of 3s, get you into that low here where we're on the edge of value, right? So remember, this is drawn from that pivot high. So here's the value area. Pardon me. Here's the value area low. I've got this from the other side. Here's the value area high. Can we get up? This is where we're trading. You can always think of this as, okay, what does that mean? What is the statistical significance? Well, from this high to this low, within that range, that's 68% of the trading action. From this high to this low. Significant? Yes. Thus, so when you start to put some statistics to it, the assumption that we're going to do this becomes less. Really, we're going to make that assumption. We're going to do something very unusual. Well, there better be some big reason why. To break out of the norms of where price 68% of the time is going to be contained. If we're going to do this, well, something substantial has happened, right? Again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's abnormal. So to get up here to this for the 5 and then start the retrace back to the mid. Remember, mid is not a great place to enter, right, at the POC. It's not a, oh shit. I have to do this, right? That's not a great, this is, because this is, everybody agrees this is fair value. So where's your edge? You're right in the middle. Now, if you insist on doing it, all right, that's how you would want to do it. Let it show its hands here. Get it push away from it. Get a little retrace, right? So now I've got clearly defined, right? So if I'm wrong, okay, it's a jab, right? Again, it's not a knockout blow to the chin. It's not going to kill my account. I live to trade another day. If I get this, oh, I got a nice little single on my hands. If that's 1, 2, and this is 1 of 3, well, I've got something that I could start stringing together here that might be really significant. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, now what I thought was just going to be a little single here, staying contained within 68% of the range of the price, all of a sudden, oh, well, what's going to happen, right? This is going to widen. Okay, well, we'll wait and see. We can get a high-class problem if we get there. Okay, shit. Oh, fuck, 44. Oh, I guess I'm a bit chatty today. Okay, let me finish with the NQ here, so I'll be done. Hang on a sec. Oh, I'm going to make it the ES because I have the work already done. Okay, big question in the ES and both the NQ is, are we done here? Is the low in? Well, of course, if I back this up, you can see certainly some good reasons why. All right, so all I'm doing is pulling from the absolute low here. Shocker, I know, right to a golden zone, where we get this massive reaction. Now, I think this count is pretty solid here. That the structure up here, WX, right, where we don't get a new high, we fail to get the new high here. If I get that right on the pivot, excuse me. ABC, what A? It gets tricky here. WXY, right? So, oh fuck me here. That thing is always annoying. That little, that's always right in the low. Okay, so I'm going to put it right here. Because this looks to me like we have truncated and we're now off to new highs. So A, B, now I got to get this done here. Right? So you got to do it. Oh, here, let's just make it simple, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, just to make these really stand out. Oh, let's put them in micro. Okay. Put you down here. I think that's what we've got to do, right? We've got to truncate here. Now, you say, okay, but truncation, right? That's the last resort. Well, these are very unusual times. A very erratic price action, right? Because it's being driven by headlines, right? Not fundamentals. At least in the very short term, right? Day to day, tweet to tweet, or truth to truth. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're way too far gone to be trying to connect this price action to this finish here. So I think we truncate. I think we do. I think we truncate, right? This is all wick here. This is wick, of course, as well. Looks like the lowest, let's see if I do it this way to help us here, right? So if I look at the lowest close here, you can see that you probably talk yourself into it a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4, get a new low here on the closes. So it would be 3, 4, 5 into the low here for the newest low on the close here. We're just a couple of ticks off of the, well, let's see if I bring this back here. Well, now we're in golden, right? So what I'm doing here is moving these slightly into the finish, right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. I think this is a cleaner way to go rather than go 1, 2, because it doesn't quite finish as well, right? It just doesn't, right? That it is supposed the idea that we've truncated here 1 ABC into the 2, right to the golden, right? The golden, right? That's all we ever do, right? Golden. So we're coming up to another golden here. 1, 2, right? So on this would suggest if the low's in, it's very reasonable given the price action here, the low's in, and if we're going to have, you know, reconsideration on how hardline the tariff noise is going to be, and you know, we'll wait and see how this all resolves. As Trump likes to say, well, you know, we'll see what happens, right? What's what he says when. Again, sorry, I don't mean to go there. Okay, right. So 1, 2 looks like we're headed towards 3, 4, 5. We're going back to all-time highs. Would be the assumption here, if indeed, right now. So here's the channeling. Here's the target up here for a 3 would be to challenge those old highs, likely resistance 4, 5, and we've got a new impulse underway. Now a lot has to happen. Here's the first major resistance has to get through. Right? Got to get through the golden from the high, which is going to be no small task. Can it happen? Right? And of course we know, right? The market always wants to go up. Always, no matter what is going on, the market always wants to go up, right? It just needs a reason to. Something, right? Anything they can cling to. Earnings have been pretty good, right? Forecasts are coming down, but earnings are good. So any excuse for the market to go up, it's going to take it and run with it. Because it went for the last, I don't know, 100 years. Right, it's bottom left, top right, with bumps along the way. But the market, it's like it's an inflatable ball you're trying to keep underwater. Right, it always wants to go up. Always. Right, that's not likely to change. Doesn't matter who's in the White House. Right, the market is always going to want to go up. Right? It doesn't mean it can. It always wants to. Right, so the bias is always up. Right, in the long term. Right, until proven otherwise. right? We have to assume here that this is going to be the next hurdle. We get through that, and then it's game on for risk assets. The NQ, of course, looks almost identical. Risk assets, Bitcoin, alts, right? Question is, do we get a big alt season? Well, if this is any indication over here, alt season's off to a good start. Okay, guys, I went way longer than normal. I apologize. I probably shouldn't do that long. All right, if you feel like these are too long, let me know. I continually ask that. But most of the time, people are okay. I'll do the time code. So if you don't want to hear me babble on for 24 minutes about Bitcoin, you can get right to whatever asset interests you. Okay, guys, have a good weekend. I'll catch you next week.